who is the main fabricator of the piece. His mathematical and engineering skills and his welding skills were exceptional. He spent several days taking very, very accurate measurements from the original chair, and I'd like to thank him very much for that. My grandfather always talked about Coolaney and coming out here, and he told me a story when I was a little kid about cycling from Dromore West out through Coolaney and on into Ballymote and out to Cage, doing his business, turning around, and on the same evening coming back. And when he was coming back by the Hungry Rock, he got the fair girt there, the magic hunger. And he went into a house, and the woman of the house gave him a piece of bread and just put it in his mouth, and he didn't have to eat it. And he was immediately freed, and he never forgot this. And his last journey in his car, was to come up here and give her chocolates and flowers. So always in my life I thought there were giants living up here. I thought it was another sort of world. When Jerome Tansey approached me to make this piece, I didn't actually know who Sil was. So I had to try and find out what sort of man he was. And I was told that he was liked, respected, regarded, that he was a warm person, that he was an ordinary person, that he was a kind person. He was a considerate person. And he represented his community. Myself and my wife Imelda, who is here, we went to celebrate our wedding anniversary out in Inishbofin Island. And on one of the days we looked into an old cottage, and we looked in through the side window, and there was nothing left in the cottage. There was a bush going out of the chimney, and inside in the cottage were 2 chairs and a table, and the people were gone. And the chair was so like this, amazingly like this one, and the 2 chairs were there as though they were in conversation with each other. And it was like a set for a piece of theatre. And on the way home, we went into an antique shop, which is between Westport and Castlebar. And when we went in, there were 6 chairs had just arrived in from the islands, she told us, and they were for sale. And she had them barely taken out. And all the 6 chairs were different. They were all individual. Each one had a different colour. They were made at a different time. So Imelda took all the money we didn't have and bought the lot of them on the spot. This is a humble chair. The original chair wasn't mass produced. These chairs were made one at a time by a singular craftsman, maybe different craftsmen. People didn't own 20 chairs. You might have got one, and you might have been well enough off to have 2. Like, people were lucky to own a stool in those times. They were basically designed all the same, but every one of them had uniqueness about it and personality. It's a simple, honest chair representing another time of country living, of home and simpler ways. A mug of milky tea and a slice of soda bread smothered in country butter. Take the weight off your feet. The chair is an invitation to sit. It's a welcome to this place. Pull up the chair and make yourself at home. This chair was pulled up so many times that none of the legs are even. It was worn down by being picked up by right-handed men. Look, they've even cut the corner off the chair nearly from dragging it across and bringing it up to the fire. And for children, it's Alice in Wonderland. like, I hope that every child that ever comes through here again will want to come and sit on the chair and have the photograph taken. The empty chair represents Sil, gone, and also reminds us of his presence, his actions, his community, his efforts to make something beautiful as this park is, and this river walk. It faces the park, but its back is to the river. And it represents my grandmother and my grandfather and the wonderful world that I was brought up in. Where would you be without a chair, except sitting on your backside on the ground? It reminds us of our sense of humour. The chair represents our common humanity. It blurs the line between mere utility and art. It's a celebration of the ordinary things. It's an attempt to make the ordinary extraordinary by having made its scale bigger. And it reminds us adults that we once were all children. Thank you very much.
Thank you for that.